Oi, oi, oi. Welcome to class. Cut that out. Yo, what's up, students? Welcome to class. It's your teacher, Manga Sensei here, and today we are reviewing Volume 2. Volume 2. Volume 2 of Soul Eater. It might be reversed for y'all. Shit, I'm fucking working overtime for y'all. Y'all finna see a fucking video while I was in the car. That's like I said, I'm gonna upload that video first because when I said, hey, I'm gonna be in the same shirt, bro, I'm uploading overtime for y'all. I'm trying to at least post every day. And by the time this video is up, I should have a TikTok. And I'm gonna try to post some of my clips from my second overview slash complaints video. Now that was really two series in one. I really didn't recognize it until I had went into editing because I'm supposed to. So basically, I'm supposed to have a complaint series where I'm complaining about certain things that I don't like in a manga I'm reading or anime I'm watching. So the first one was obviously the fan service, but then I kind of made it into a broader thing. Um, but then also I'm supposed to have an overview series where I review volume by volume the mangas that I'm reading. And it might go to the animes that I'm watching, but I digest a lot of my knowledge reading. So it might just be with the mangas, because like I wanted to kind of do one on Kaiju number 8, but as y'all know, the seasons are not done, and I'd had to kind of rewatch Kaiju number 8 to feel like I can give y'all a thorough review. And actually, I take it back. Reviewing, not overview, reviewing every individual volume. Then I'm gonna make one big video where it's kind of like an overview of the whole series once I get done. So that's like one big ass review. Okay. Again, if it looks like I'm not looking at y'all, I am. I'm just, or technically I'm not because I'm not looking at the camera. But I'm looking at myself in the camera to make sure I look good. And as I'm making this video, the video I'm uploading now, Soul Eater Volume 2. This volume, personally, to me, dragged. I don't know if it was because I was thinking of other shit while I was reading, or I was kind of worried about the day ending because I read this pretty late at night and I had to work today. Just got off work. I'm off tomorrow though, so I'm gonna catch up on some manga. Gonna read some volume 3 of this. Uh, but it dragged. It felt like it dragged a lot. Uh Now, luckily, this did have less fan service. We almost made it through the whole manga. But it was one scene of fan service, I think, or one page, one panel of fan service, I'm pretty sure. And I mean, it didn't kill it for me, but it let me know that maybe the mangaka, you feel me, the mangaka, it might be flipped for y'all. I'm probably gonna have to flip this shit in editing or something. It lets me know that the mangaka wasn't on some, they he cares about the story, right? Um, so this volume was basically, if I'm not mistaken, Frankenstein became their teacher. So it finished the battle, or it finished up the remedial lesson chapter basically. Uh the last volume, the first volume ended on the remedial lesson, and then this one finished the remedial lesson chapter. And it also introduced, or not really introduced, but Death the Kid came to the school. And all this is spoilers, so I'm probably gonna have to put before this spoiler warning. Death the Kid came to the school. There he had a funny little uh battle. I wouldn't even call it a battle. I would call it a spar. That stutter is crazy. I gotta start having a stutter encounter. I be stuttering like crazy on these videos. Had a funny little spar with Black Star and Soul Eater. Uh and then we got into the big bad of this volume. Technically two. We met Medusa and we met Corna, or yeah, Corna. I think if I'm saying his name right. And I guess you could consider Ragnarok as a big baddie too, even though that's his weapon. But we met Medusa and Corna. And then finally, Spirit, or the Death Scythe, got some action with Frankenstein. And all I'm saying is it went crazy. Now, one thing that this volume like surprised me with was the illustrations. So first off, let's look at this colored page right here. Colored page looks amazing. You probably really can't tell, but colored page looks amazing. But the in between chapter illustrations, hold on, I'm trying to find it for y'all. First off, illustrations like these. The illustrations like these, y'all can't really tell, and y'all probably can't see that well because the lighting. But it wasn't this illustration specifically. It was near the end, and it was during the battle with Corna when Frankenstein was fighting Corna. The deep blacks that they had this right here. So when Corna had sliced up Soul because he was protecting Maka, and yes, I realized in if y'all see the video that I just uploaded, I kept saying Maki. I don't know why I kept saying Maki. I meant to say Maka. I do not know why I kept saying Maki. Please do not get on me, okay? Please don't get on me. But this right here, y'all, like, I wish my camera would do it justice. But the deep, dark, like, blacks, the shading, I don't know why, but I just love that. I love that. It surprised me a lot when I seen this because from the first chapter or first volume, it wasn't really like this. See, some of the in-between pages weren't really like this. Like, even though, like, obviously manga is black and white, it felt more lively. It felt like it had more lighter colors than it did. Oh shit, lighter colors than it did darker colors. Trying to see if there was one more. No. Okay. But I really had enjoyed it. Now, the art style to me, obviously, if you've read Fire Force or seen Fire Force, obviously his art style has gotten better from then. But I do like this unique 2000s art style. I always loved the 2000s anime manga art style. In a way, that kind of what got me in anime, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. Drippiest, literally drippiest. But I literally thought, no homo, don't shoot the messenger. Cause I love giving the mail. Okay, that was lame. But drippiest character, bro. Like drippy character, and I love the 2000s art style. Now, I think the thing that dragged this out for me too, though, was I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Corner's personality. Now I had the same issue when I was watching anime a long time ago. Corner's personality pisses me off. Now, it doesn't make it obviously a bad read or take down the overall rating of what I currently have Soul Eater at right now. It doesn't do that at all. Corner is just such a dense, dumb character to where it's kind of just like, holy brother, like I just get murked, okay? Merch it. 2025 Manga Sensei said Corner needs to be murked. Hashtag Merc Corner. Okay, let me stop. And I felt like that was a part that felt as if it was dragging the most to me. Is that like he was such a dull character, and obviously you can tell that his vessel was getting used by Medusa. So it's more of like he's not in control. He's a very I think it even said that when I think it was either Maka or Frankenstein who was looking at his soul, and they were like, yeah, his very introverted soul, and then Ragnar is very abrasive. So like he's a very shy person. So, and it's shy to the extreme. So that's why I also really didn't hate it, because it's his character. Just because something drags doesn't mean I necessarily hate it. It just felt like it was forever. I felt like I was flipping pages for the longest. This though really did. I love the comedic elements. My favorite part though was when Soul was driving the motorcycle, because I don't know, it's kind of like up to the humor that I use, but up to the humor that you hear people now say, but instead of what he said, they'd probably like, I'm a KMS in GTA, right? But he was like, yeah, if it's Black Star just throwing a big old party in the church, basically, I'm gonna cry. And I busted out, like, in my bed, busted out laughing, because it was just like I said, I would have made that type of humor. People nowadays would have made that type of humor, but would have said something else. And it just felt real relatable. Like, it was one of the comedic elements that was just like, bro, he wanted to go home. It was late, and he's like, "Oh my gosh," Marcus. He's like, "But I gotta do this as a student of DWMA, DWMA. I gotta do this. I gotta do this." And he's like, "Oh, brother, oh my gosh." So felt that. But that was like one of my favorite parts of that manga, which I know was like such a small part. Besides the battle, like I said, the battle between Frankenstein and Corner, fire. Medusa though coming in as the doctor, it is insane. Is insane. And one thing I will say that confuses me. So in this manga, when Frankenstein, basically was fighting Corner, and they started battling. To me, it seemed like they were battling in the church. And then it showed a panel where they were outside. And what kind of confused me was, if they were outside, now given the fact she probably could have been high up in the air, how did they not see Medusa? And how did he not know that Medusa was right there? Because when when Frankenstein got in there, he like, I don't know the right word, but he basically broke, like, on some "here's Johnny" type junk, death scythe spirit through the door of the church. And I'm like, okay, yeah, they're fighting in the church the whole time, and then come to find out they end up being outside somehow. And that's the only thing, because that also happened in the first, or at the end of the first volume, or when they were fighting Frankenstein originally. It looked like they were inside his lab, and then it looked as if they ended up outside. And I don't know if it's my brain just not comprehending, or I'm just not taking in stuff very well. But okay, so right here, right, when Corner slashes Soul, cuts into Soul, right here, that looks like the inside of the church, right? Does it not? Okay, boom. So they're inside the church, and then it's gonna take me a little minute to get where I need to probably go. Okay, hold on, right here. Still inside the church. Spirit, Corner, Ragnarok. Okay, y'all see that? Ragnarok. Spirit right here, Corner, Ragnarok. Okay, so they look as if they're still in the church. Boom. We just finna fast forward a little bit. They fighting. Frankenstein doing his good. Soul menace. I'm a soul menace. Okay, let me stop. Okay, so they're fighting. They're still inside. They're still inside the church. By the way, I just want y'all to see right there that those are seats. Those are where you sit down and you confess your sins to the pastor. Okay, so they're still inside the church. They're inside. Oh, well, I'm tweaking. I did not recognize this, and this is where you got to build a better artistic eye. He basically highs him out of the door. Okay, never mind. Oh my gosh. Never mind. He gets high out the door. We got that one. Noted. Okay. So what I was saying basically was invalid. But at the same time still, well, not fully, because when he got knocked out the door, I still don't understand how they don't know that Medusa is is the nurse lady that's in there, because spoiler again, at the end or near the end of this volume, Frankenstein Spirit asks Frankenstein like, okay, enough, basically playing it safe for my daughter. How is he really doing? And then he tells Spirit the truth that like some of the demon blood or the blood from Ragnarok, or well technically Korna, but Ragnarok hardened his blood, uh got into Soul, and it kind of is affecting him, but they don't really have a proper analysis yet. It's just gonna have to see over time. Um and then Medusa comes in as the teacher, I mean as the nurse, and Spirit being a little simp. He's like, oh my gosh, my lovely nurse lady. But then before it ends and goes into like the preview of the next volume, it shows her as Medusa, and then her as the I forgot her. Oh, and her name is still Medusa. Her as the witch, and then her as the doctor. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, did y'all not see her, or did y'all not like, because he sat there and was like, oh, like that's a witch's soul, and it's like y'all can tell that that's the lady that works in there at the school for y'all. Like, what's going on? But still, like I said, overall, I rate that, even though it dragged a little bit, I do rate this volume by itself a 9 out of 10. It made me like, it shows so much. Soul has a lot of personality. Black Star does too. But Soul does have a lot of personality, and it made me enjoy Soul more. I think Soul is low-key going to be one of my maybe favorite characters. Black Star is close too, because I love that he's aware that he's obnoxious. Like, yes, he's narcissistic, but he is completely aware of that, because he's like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be taking the spotlight. I should be taking the spotlight. He knows he's selfish. He knows, that he wants to be looked at as the greatest or dependable or anything like that. So he knows what he's doing. It's not like he's just doing this because he's just some stupid dumb kid. It's like, no, like, hey, I'm doing this because I'm the coolest. Like, I'm the best assassin there is. It's his ninja way essentially. But besides, like I said, the one bit of fan service, there I really have no complaints about this volume itself. Let me know how y'all feel about, if y'all have read this volume before, what y'all like about it, were y'all takeaways or anything like that. And like I said, I am gonna watch the anime after I get done reading the whole manga. I low key, I'm loving this shit so much. I might get the damn perfect edition, because I don't know it. Well, y'all probably do know, but there's a perfect edition of this, which I was originally going to get because I like omnibuses, but the only reason why I don't dabble in omnibuses no more is because I never can read them in a full session. I finished this whole thing in a full session. One whole sit down session, I finished this whole thing. Now, well, for my big video where I'm reviewing the whole series, I'm going to have to probably reread these again. So, more than likely, that is probably going to be when I get the perfect edition or the deluxe editions, or, well, the omnibuses of these stories. So I can just have like chapters or volumes 1 and 2, or volumes 1, 2, and 3 in one book, so I can kind of put down this and then pick up that same book instead of having to get every individual one. I don't know yet. Consumerism is a thing, and sometimes I like to dabble in it when it's my hobbies. Got so many games in my backlog, none of them beat. And I keep buying. But yeah, I am enjoying this manga. I did recently purchase, because at the back of this manga, which I'm going to make, which might be my first like big review, I did recently purchase, because this character just looked fire to me. Thank y'all very much. I did purchase this right here. Now you may think it says Boichi. Do not get that confused. It's B.Ichi, because if you type in Boichi, it's going to pop up the Origin series. Origin Boichi. Do not type in Boichi manga if you want to buy this and then get Boichi, because you're I'm gonna get the wrong thing. It's b.et. I only purchased it because I do like this. I do love Soul Eater. I'm fucking with Soul Eater heavy, and I like Fire Force. So I'm like, you know what? I like his works. I like two of his works. Let me go ahead and go see one of his works before this. And it may not be the best because y'all got to understand that you got to start somewhere. But it only has 4 volumes, so it's not a very very like deep read. But I don't mind. But yeah, again, tell me how y'all feel about this volume. If y'all just currently reading, if y'all been read it, tell me what y'all takeaways of this volume is in terms of if y'all want to go fully geek out on me and be like, oh my gosh, I love this part because of this reason. Like maybe some things that I wasn't really in tune in. I want to get better at this because I feel like there's more I should be telling all about this and more I should be breaking down. But like right now we just testing the waters, class. You know, it's my first year as a teacher. Come on, man. First year as a teacher, gotta be easy on me. Mind you, I didn't go to college for this. I'm like, you're a great teacher on Muzaki, but not on the weird stuff. Not the man loving the, you know, not that. I promise y'all, no, never. But yeah, I love y'all. Peace. Have a good day or night whenever you're watching this. You know, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's always optional. And the bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you. Peace.